What happens to the human body when you take away every single gram of dietary sugar for exactly 24 hours? On paper, a one-day fast sounds manageable, but modern food environments are designed to ensure dependency. Sugar is packed into snacks, hidden inside your daily beverages, and integrated into healthy products. This timeline of a typical day shows the result. These sharp artificial spikes in dopamine correlate with scheduled meal and snack intervals, creating a highly engineered reward loop in the brain. Because of that loop, a 24-hour fast operates as a diagnostic test. It exposes the true depth of systemic chemical control. Moving into the first few hours of the morning, the reaction is quiet. There are no intense cravings and no mental fog. Everything feels normal. This calm is the result of delayed onset. The body still holds residual energy stores from the previous day's intake, which mask the sudden absence of fresh glucose. This morning calm is a biological trap. Once those cellular reserves deplete, the metabolic engine stalls, forcing a severe physical and mental crash. By mid-morning, the math catches up. This is the moment your brain registers that its anticipated source of quick energy has been severed. What follows is not caloric hunger. This is a sudden, intense neurological urgency, a localized chemical alarm sounding off in the nervous system. The brain immediately begins generating excuses to secure a fix, rationalizing that the rules are too strict or that a single bite won't compromise the day's progress. This process forcibly shifts cognitive focus, hijacking attention away from daily responsibilities and channeling it toward immediate gratification. Pushing into the afternoon, the withdrawal hits its climax. Severe physical fatigue sets in, accompanied by a sharp spike in irritability. This chart shows the mechanics of that crash. As the dopamine line plummets below the survival threshold, the brain enters a deficit zone, panicking over the missing chemical spike. These stress signals radiate outward, triggering an acute response throughout the nervous system. These overwhelming afternoon cravings represent a neurological misinterpretation. The brain perceives chemical absence as a survival emergency. The most effective response requires a radical intervention, pausing, standing perfectly still, and experiencing the discomfort without reacting. This is the technique of objective observation. You refuse to satisfy the urge while simultaneously refusing to fight it. You watch the craving happen from the outside. Gradually, the severity of the craving begins to dissipate. It passes slowly and with difficulty, but it does pass. Outlasting that physical climax proves an urge is a temporary wave, not a permanent mandate. Advancing into the final evening phase, the biological storm subsides. The nervous system stops panicking and begins to recalibrate. This flat line moving across the grid represents the new physiological reality. The mental fog clears, leaving behind a steady state of low-level energy. When you contrast this baseline directly against the volatile cycle from earlier in the day, the difference in stability is clear. The body never required the sugar to function. It was merely conditioned to expect the spike. The 24-hour fast functions as a behavioral diagnostic tool, exposing the mechanics of dependency. Forcing an acute withdrawal is the only reliable way to expose unconscious habits. You cannot dismantle a system you do not understand. The things we crave the most are often the exact forces controlling us, until the momentum comes to a dead stop. Observing biological urges rather than blindly obeying them creates the space necessary to choose our own actions.